Hi everyone, Brian here, back with what I've got for the past week or few weeks or so since my last video. We'll start with, I was at Kmart and I saw this in a clearance bin for $2, or either $2 or $2.99. So Wii Classic Controller Pro, and you can find these. I've been seeing these really cheap lately, and they are compatible with the Wii U for a lot of games. I know Mario Kart 8 supports it. And it was nice to have one. I have the GoldenEye 007 Golden one, and it's a very comfortable controller. It's basically just like the Wii Classic controller, only has these grips down here, so it makes it more comfortable. For the DS, I finally found a Rumble Pack for Metroid Pinball. One of my videos about 2 or 3 videos ago, I found Metroid Pinball for real cheap without the Rumble Pack, so now I finally have it, so that's good. For the Genesis, I found a game I've been looking for a long time. That's Mutant League Football. I have Mutant League Hockey. Mutant League Football is basically, I'm sure a lot of you know what Mutant League Football is. You play as mutants, and it's very funny as they play on puns for words like this for the teams, like the San Francisco, like the 60 Whiners, and you can hit the ref, hit the players so hard they blow apart or go into black holes. And there's no, like, after the whistle, you can just keep hitting the people. It's a very fun game. Based on the Madden football engine of, I forget what year it came out, 93, so it'd be Madden 92 or 93 engine, I believe. But yeah, fun, finally have it. NES, I picked up about 4 NES games here. I've been looking for a long time. We'll start off with Bucky O'Hare. I found this, I've been looking for this for a while. It's a late Konami release. Based on the cartoon and the toy line. And from what I understand, you can go through levels, and when you find a new character, you can hit select to choose them at any time, I believe. I haven't really played it, but I've seen gameplay footage of it, and I never even knew about it as a kid, but always happy to get NES games I don't have. Also picked up the sequel to one of my favorite NES games, especially cooperative. That's Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2. I've never played this one either. But the first one is very fun, and I hope this is like the first one. It is cooperative, I believe, and more Chip 'n Dale is always good. You see on the cover there, and there's Fat Cat back there, and who else is on the front here? Chip 'n Dale, and no Gadget, but there's this crocodile here. Don't know if he was in the cartoon, I can't remember. And also, an Activision game, The Adventures of Rad Gravity. I don't know anything about this game, but I know it's one of those games that has 2 different titles. It says The Adventure of Rad Gravity here, and then just Rad Gravity on the spine. So I'll call it The Adventures of Rad Gravity. This game I thought I had, but I didn't. I had another game with Cyber in the name, maybe, but it's Cyberball. And I'm hoping it's like Base Wars, which I'm still trying to find. Base Wars is one of my most rented games as a kid. I love that game. And I'm so surprised with all the NES games. I've never seen that one to buy. I really want to buy it. I might actually just buy it on eBay just to have it. Some Super Nintendo games. Always love the Super Nintendo whenever I can get them. Picked up Brandish, an RPG by Koei. Been on a beat-em-up kick. I've got Sonic Blast Man and also Captain Commando recently. So I picked up the Combat Tribes, another beat-em-up based on the Technos arcade game. What else we got here? Pieces. This game is like a puzzle game where, like, remember those slide puzzles as a kid? Basically, it's that, I believe, but you use the mouse. It has mouse controls. It's developed by Atlas, I think. A shoot 'em up by NTVIC. I've never heard of them. It's called STG Strike Gunner. I've heard it's very hard, but it was real cheap to pick up, so I figured I'd get it. Another game I've been looking for a while. Excalibur 2097. Side-scrolling hack and slash game. Happy to have that. Clearance. Toys R Us, they had a clearance going, and these guys got for, I think, 70% off. Got Twisted Metal for the PlayStation 3, and Jack and Daxter collection. I've never played any of these series before, so I figured I'd get the collections and try out the Twisted Metal on the PS3 since it was so cheap. Also, I picked up for the Wii U. They had, for $6, I got Splinter Cell Blacklist. I've been trying to find Deus Ex Human Revolution, but they didn't have that. And also Jeopardy! I figure when my parents stop by, when my mom's not Wii bowling or we're not playing any of the Wii Sports games, we could play Jeopardy or something. And oh yeah, Wii Sports Club comes out, a digital release comes out this summer, so I'm looking forward to that. For the 3DS, I picked up 2 games. Tomodachi Life. I got this, and it comes with 2 demo codes. I gave one to my mom and had her try it. I don't know much about it. The demo, she said she could only create 2 Miis. Basically, from what I understand, you start the game, you have to name your island. That's where I'm at, because I take too long to name stuff in games. I hate that. Wish they just give you a name for the island so I don't have to worry about it. And you create Miis or import Miis, and they live in your apartment building, and you interact with them. It's more of a funny type of game, from what I understand, but once I actually finally create the island and everything, I'll get started playing it. Also, an early 3DS game in the first year, Gabriella's Ghostly Groove 3D. This is a rhythm game. I played a little bit of it. It's similar from when I played the Theater Rhythm, only it's more of a cartoony. If I can show you the graphics here. They look very cartoony, but they look really good. I've been looking for this for a while. It's kind of hard to find. You can find it at Kmart sometimes in the bargain bins. This one I found at a game store, the Exchange here, for it was $15, which I would gladly pay because I was looking for it. Wii game. I've been looking for this game for a while. Back to the Future, the game. This was also on PS3 and Steam. It's actually canon to the movies. It continues the movies. It's a Telltale game. And yeah, so Back to the Future, the game. Stopping at a thrift store, and I saw Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater for $1.99. And even though I have it for 3DS, I figured for $1.99 I'd pick it up. I don't have a lot of PS2 games, but I don't know if I should start playing Metal Gear Solid 3 on the 3DS or this version here. But I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game, so... And also, I was at work. Whenever they get rid of their old computer parts, they give them to me. And if you don't know, I'm really big into PCs. Building. I like tinkering with PCs and stuff. I have a closet right there, over there, is full of PC parts, just in bins and stuff. I have tons of them, enough to build like 3 whole new computers. But every time I can get PC parts, I like to get them. So I stripped their old PCs, and I got a terabyte hard drive. So I'm going to use this Hitachi terabyte hard drive, throw it in the server to have some more space. Also, I've been bringing home memory. I have this is 4 gigabytes of DDR3. I don't have any DDR3 memory, but this is 4 gigabytes. I have 12 more gigabytes I got to bring home. So this is good because all my memory is DDR2, which if I want to upgrade, I have 8 gigabytes now. If I want to upgrade to more, like a 4 gigabyte stick of DDR2 is insanely expensive. So I think with this stuff here, I can actually build a new PC because I got a good processor too. Also, I stripped out the motherboard. This is a back in 2011, AMD released a Bulldozer architecture, which was basically the first video processing unit on a processor. So you didn't need onboard graphics that would output video from the CPU, and you'd output it through the VGA. This was the board that was compatible with it. I don't know the name. I don't know the chipset. It says it's a BioStar A770E3, but the chip I took out, it's a early Bulldozer architecture AMD. So yeah, happy to have that. Also, we have an Intel board here. Let's get this out. This is an Intel board. I don't know the chipset, but the processor is an early, after the Core 2 Duo, I think it's a Sandy Bridge. It's either an i7, an early i7, but that's the chip that's in here. And this is a pretty, I'm going to have to look at it a bit, but it does have, looks like, integrated video out on the board or in the chip. I'm not 100% sure. I got to check all the specs of it and everything. If you see the back here, you got HDMI out and your video out. So I'm going to strip off the heatsink, and actually I already popped it off, and the chip's in there. See, it's right there. I got to strip off, just clean off with some little alcohol and read the chip, the CPU, what it is. But I think it's an early i7 Sandy Bridge, a quad core. And basically I have the RAM, the processor, everything to build a new CPU or a new computer. So that'll save me some money. And if this board's compatible down the road with more processors, I'm pretty good. With more I should say, if it's compatible with the latest Intel processors. But I usually like to stick with AMD. Also, I picked up another DVD writer from there they were giving away. So nice to have the video card. It's always nice to have a spare video card around just for testing. This is a... God, I haven't bought a video card since 2009. This is a AMD 68... Jeez, I don't even know what this card is. Nothing too great, but, it's a card, And what else? I got serial ATA cables here, and some USB backplate headers, which are very, very useful to have if you... Sometimes the motherboard has these, you see on the back, these plug into the motherboard and they give you access on the back for USB ports. And I got one more thing. This came in the mail. I got the Retron 5. It came this week around Wednesday. I plugged it in, and there was a firmware upgrade, so I upgraded it to the latest firmware. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. The graphics it puts out on HDMI are very clean, even though it's basically an emulator. It's not a chip. It's running an Android operating system. Hyperkin tweaked it with their own front-end GUI. Excuse me. And it's basically running an emulator on there. So it's like an Android emulator. And you put the game in, it dumps that ROM to the internal storage, and it runs the emulator runs that ROM. So it's emulating the game. It's not actually Nintendo on a chip. So there's good hope for it to, if a game's not compatible or there's some problems with the emulation, they can update it through an SD card on the back. You just plug it in and you run the update, and you can update it, and hopefully games that aren't compatible or can get tweaked to run better or run at all. And I tried it out. The graphics are very nice on HDMI. I have it out in the living room because I like to have a system. Basically, I have my Wii U and stuff, modern systems out on the LCD out there, and it's hooked up out there. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. The graphics look great. The sound, so far I haven't noticed. There's a sound optimization, but it sounds very boomy. So I think I got to turn that off, and it won't sound as boomy. But I'm very particular. I don't have a lot of clone systems. I don't know if you can even call that a clone system. It's more like a low-end PC emulator that uses real cartridges to dump the ROMs instead of getting them online, and you can use real controllers. So the good thing about this is I'm hoping somebody hacks it to put an SD card in the back, and you can put ROMs on it, and then just play it off of there. Just stick a gigabyte SD card and have all the NES Genesis games all in folders. That would be awesome because you can play with your regular controllers. I think it's a matter of time before somebody does that. If that happens, I'd love to do that and have just the system out in the living room to play, ROMs off of. Which since that's an Android system, you probably could. So yeah, I got it for what I paid. I think I paid $77. I pre-ordered it back when it was announced on Amazon, and it was at the $77, and after shipping it was like 80 something. For that price, I highly recommend it. For $140, what they were asking, it's hard to say because it's not a real system. It's just an emulator, like I said. But you could almost get most of those systems for $140 itself. So if you don't have any systems at all, and you can get one for $80, I say why not? If it's $140 and you don't have any systems, I'd say just get a original system. Because as good as that is, I still like to play on the original system. It just feels better. But this is, yeah, I'm impressed. It's good. The controller is not the greatest, though. Actually, it's okay, except for some reason they decide to use a joystick, clicky stick, instead of a digital pad. And I don't know why, because games of the 16-bit era, 8-bit, 16-bit, all use digital directions. And I don't know why they went with the joystick method, but you can use your own controllers for them. You can also, to turn all the filters on, there are filters on the system that show the games. You can add like any aliasing where it takes the jaggies away from the pixels, makes it look almost like a sketch. And you can add scan lines like a CRT TV. And excuse me, to access those, you got to hit the home menu on the built-in controller, hit down and start on your actual NES Genesis SNES controller, and it'll access the home menu. You can set all those up, those key functions, on your actual hardware controllers in this menu itself. So if you don't want to use the Hyperkin controller to go to your home menu, you can set that up on your, like for down and start, up and start. You can set that to be maybe take a snapshot, up and start, save state, left and start, stuff like that. So that's a good thing. Save states are awesome, and the fact that, for example, Super Mario 3, I beat it for the first time since grade school or junior high, with going the whole way through because of save states on the 3DS. And this will make a lot of older games easier because you can just save at any point you want and then come back and then start the game again. You can have it automatically load those save states when you put the cartridge in. So when you put the cartridge in, it'll automatically load the save state and you'll start off where you were. I haven't tried saving a game onto it yet. That I kind of feel weird about. I don't want to start pushing data onto my cartridge that's 20 years old. But the good thing is you can copy your saves off of it. So if you don't have a Retrode, which for those who don't know, the Retrode is a computer device where you plug in with USB, plug your cartridge in, and hooks up to your computer, and you can save your games off of it to backups on your computer and run emulators off of those. And it's a really good device. It's like $200 I think. But this will allow you to back up your saves, which is another good thing. If you want to save your saves onto an SD card, I believe you can do that. So that's basically a quick thing about the Retron 5. If you can find it for less, $100, which it was going for, yeah, pick it up. Even $100, if you really, I'd wait maybe a little bit before you see it more common for $140. But I've been going on too long about that. But yeah, so that's everything I got. I hope everybody has a great weekend and enjoy the summertime. Is it summer yet? Not yet. It's still spring, I think. It's kind of one summer. But okay, take care. Bye.